Hi, it's Iona. Welcome to Upgrade Your Self-Confidence Masterclass. How are you doing? Let me just adjust my camera and stuff here. And I'm going to give everyone a couple of minutes just to come into the live. How are you? How are you doing? I would love for you to pop a little comment in the chat box or in the comment box if you're just watching this not live. Let me know where you are, how you are, and what in life and where in life you would like to experience more confidence. So I'd love to know where in life you would like to experience more confidence, whether that is in work or in your relationships or in projects that you've got going on. Like, say, for example, you are doing a presentation in work or something like that. Perhaps you would like some more confidence doing that. It's really warm here in Glasgow, so I'm just going to drink all this water. And obviously, I've had to close my windows to stop the sound, stop the noise. So while we're sitting waiting for people to come onto the live, I want you to just drop your shoulders, place your feet on the floor, take a nice deep breath in and out. And if it's safe for you to do so, if you're not driving or doing something important, if you can, close your eyes and take a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And in through your nose and out through your mouth. And drop your shoulders. Give your head a little move to the left and right. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And I want you to say these 3 phrases after me. I am safe. I am loved. All is well. I am safe. I am loved. All is well. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Yeah, there we go. How do you feel after that? How are you feeling? Good, I hope. I hope you're feeling chilled. I really like to use that, those mantras. I like to use those phrases often, especially if I'm feeling anxious or if I'm feeling worried or stressed out. I like to remind myself that I am safe, because currently, right now, in this moment, I'm sitting on this seat with you. I am safe. I am loved. I have lots of amazing people in my life, and I know that you do too. If you're not feeling loved right now, then I'm sending you a huge hug and I'm sending you lots of love from my heart to yours. So you're loved and all is well. Even if you're not well, even if things aren't going well, let's just take a little moment right now and imagine wellness, the feeling of wellness, and feeling how it would feel if and when things are well. And let's imagine that they are well, that you are well right now, that everything is well. You are well, life is going well, things are going well. I am well. How does that feel in your body? I am well. I am safe. I am loved. All is well. How does that feel? Hope it feels good, because that's the goal. I want it to feel good. Okay, so today, for this self-confidence masterclass, if you're new here, hello, my name is Iona. I'm a confidence coach. I love to help people to feel safe, to be seen, to feel safe to be their authentic selves, and to work through previous experiences, challenging circumstances, trauma, things like that. I am a certified counsellor for complex trauma, neurodivergence, stress, and I love to teach on confidence. The reason why I love to teach on confidence so much is because I really struggled as a child. I struggled with shyness and my own confidence as a child. I often felt not good enough. I often felt like I was going to be judged and criticised and called out if I was to say something. So I really struggled to express myself. I really struggled with putting myself out there, really struggled with being seen. I did not like to be seen. I wanted to go and hide. But then as I grew older, I had to be seen in order to get stuff done, right? I had to apply for jobs. I had to go to job interviews. I had to give presentations at uni, at college, at school. So it was a really challenging thing for me to experience. And I'm still working through it. But I'm definitely a lot better than I used to be. I have a lot more confidence than I used to have. All of my school report cards growing up always said, Iona lacks confidence. Iona needs more confidence. Iona needs to speak up more in class. But nobody ever showed me how to do all these things. Nobody ever showed me how to feel more confident. So that is what these classes are for. These classes are for me to help you and to show you how to be more confident, how to feel more confident. So we're going to do that today. We're going to upgrade your self-confidence so that by the end of this hour, you are going to be dancing out here, feeling amazing, feeling like you have more self-confidence than you ever have before. And by doing that, we're going to have a play with some perspectives today. If you would like to take notes, get your notepads and paper and pen, and feel free to write down anything that comes up for you. Feel free to write down any perspectives, any beliefs, anything that feels like, oh wow, that feels really relevant. Because what a lot of this work involves is observing, like observation of what we've got going on internally in terms of our belief system and our feelings and our thoughts, right? So it's really important that we look at what we've got going on at an emotional level. And that's what I did years ago in order for me to feel more confident about myself and about the things that I was doing, like in university or in college and in the jobs I had to put myself out there. And I didn't feel safe to put myself out there. I didn't feel safe to be seen. So I had to look at my own belief system, look at my thoughts and my feelings about myself, my behaviors, my actions, reactions and inactions, things that I wasn't doing. I had to look at them and I had to write them all out, draw them all out, and see which ones I had that were not serving me. For example, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm going to get picked on, I'm going to get emotionally hurt. Bad things are going to happen to me if I stand out, if I speak up for myself. It's not safe. I'm in danger if I do these things. Today, we're going to work on that safety. And we're going to, if we have time, I'm hoping we'll have time, we're going to play with 3 perspectives. And I want you to, if you want to write these down, you absolutely can. So the first perspective is, it's safe to be myself. Our goal for this call, for the next 50 minutes or so, is you leaving here feeling safe to be yourself, whatever that means. Okay, whoever you are, whatever you do, whatever you are doing, whoever you are, it's safe to be yourself. Another perspective we're going to look at is, it's safe to make mistakes. Oh no, it's not safe to make mistakes. I don't know what you're talking about. Unfortunately, we are human beings, and human beings are not AI. We're not robots. We are mistake-making machines. It's safe to make mistakes. Some of us, myself included, learn very quickly while making mistakes, if making mistakes. So it's safe to make mistakes. And the final one, which I'm not sure if we'll have time to look into, but we can kind of briefly touch on it, is, it's safe to change my mind. It's safe to change my mind. And that can be changing your mind, whether that is a person or a thing or a perspective, a belief that you had previously. It's a decision that you thought, I'm going to make this decision, but actually, no, I'll change my mind. I'm going to choose this thing. It's safe to change my mind. So the 3 perspectives we're going to have a play with today, and play is the very, very important word, because we're just playing. It's easy, it's free, it's light, we're having fun. It's safe to be myself. It's safe to make mistakes. It's safe to change my mind. Okay, so the first one, it's safe to be myself. Take a moment. If it's safe for you to do so, close your eyes, get your back straight, put your feet flat on the ground, drop your shoulders, take a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. If you are being yourself, and I would love to know in the chat box, is it safe to be yourself? Do you currently feel safe to be yourself? And if you don't know who yourself is, that's okay. But currently, right now, are you safe to be yourself? Do you feel safe to be yourself? Do you feel safe to be yourself? That could be in any circumstances or situations. Do you feel safe to be yourself in your job? Do you feel safe to be yourself in your relationship? Do you feel safe to be yourself in your friendships? Do you feel safe to be yourself around your family members? Do you feel safe to be yourself walking down the street? Do you have to hide parts of yourself? Do you have to mask parts of yourself? Do you have to become a different person? Do you have to shut off parts of yourself in order to be this different person, for fear of being judged, for fear of being criticized, for fear of people finding out about you, right? Of finding out like that you're maybe not who you say you are, like it's like a imposter syndrome. You might be found out that you're a fraud. Do you feel safe to be yourself? If no, if it's not currently safe to be yourself in any of these situations or circumstances, and if you're not sure how you can be yourself, close your eyes. Can you imagine, or can you feel like, if hypothetically it was safe for you to be yourself, what would that look like and how would that feel? If I was to give you like a superpower, a magical power, it's now safe for you to be yourself. You're now safe to be yourself. What would that look like? How would that feel? What would that involve? If it was safe for you to be yourself, your true self, what would that look like? What would you be doing? What would you do? How would you live? How would you be? What would you present yourself as? Personality, like what image? Who would you be? What would you be? What would you be doing if it was safe for you to be yourself? I did not feel safe to be myself for a very long time. It felt seriously unsafe for me to be myself for a very long time. I felt ashamed to be myself. I felt guilty to be myself. I felt like being myself. I felt like I was fundamentally flawed as a human being. I felt there was something wrong with me deep down, probably from a very young age. I felt like I didn't belong here. Like I didn't belong in my family. I didn't belong, on the planet. I felt like I didn't belong, and I did not feel safe to be me. At heart, when I think back to what I was like in childhood, was a free spirit. I was a very free spirit. I was very creative. I wasn't outgoing. I was an introvert. I was quiet. I was an observer. I liked to observe, but I was also fearless as well. Like I liked to go on adventures and I liked to do things. I liked to explore. I like to play. I like to have fun. And I think I got to a certain age where these things were no longer acceptable. I had to become someone else in order to be loved and accepted. I had to grow up. I grew up quickly. I had to grow up quite fast. I had to put on this facade. I had to become serious. I had to become a people pleaser. I had to make sure that everyone else was okay before I was okay. And that meant that I wasn't able to be as free-spirited as I was before. I had to put all those kind of those things to one side. I had to put all those passions and that creativity and that adventure. I had to put it to one side. I had to hide it as well because it wasn't cool. You know, like it didn't feel like those things were cool. I had low self-esteem. I didn't feel like I was good enough at my core. I felt like those things weren't good enough. Like those things weren't good. So it was no longer safe to be myself. It was no longer safe for me to be myself. I had to become, I became quite down, quite depressed, quite sad, quite anxious because I was denying parts of myself that were trying to get out and play. I was picked on quite a lot in school, and that part of me, that free-spirited part of me, shut down because it wasn't safe. It wasn't safe for me to be myself. So if I was hypothetically, right, I'm playing this game on myself. If it is safe to be myself, no matter what my circumstances are right now, like no matter what my job is, no matter what I'm doing, no matter what my family says, no matter what my friends say, no matter what, it is hypothetically safe for me to be myself, then I can feel into those feelings and thoughts of what it was like growing up, right? Who I am actually at my core, that I'm free-spirited, that I'm creative, that I love to have fun, that I love to go on adventures, that I'm quietly confident, right? I'm not an all singing, all dancing like person, outgoing extrovert. I was never who I was. I was never that person. I was sure, I had a sense of confidence, right? Quiet confidence. I had a sureness about me. I had a knowingness about me. And that's what true, authentic self-confidence feels like. It feels like a knowingness. It feels light. It feels fun. It feels free. It feels freeing. It doesn't feel self-conscious. It doesn't feel like I have to do things to get things from other people. It doesn't feel like I have to do things to get attention. It doesn't feel like I have to do things to get affection, which is how I felt when I no longer felt safe to be me. I felt when it was no longer safe to be myself, it felt like I had to perform, or I had to put others first, people please. I had to become this like try hard person because I wasn't good enough. I didn't feel good enough at my core. But actually, I was always good enough. We're all always good enough because we just are. We're born good enough. Like you wouldn't look at a fresh baby and go, "No, they're not good enough." You wouldn't look at a beautiful little toddler running around free-spirited and go, "It's just not. They're not good enough, are they really?" It's like when we start going to schools, when we start going to, we have to start performing to hit goals and perform and get grades and things like that. We have to start learning skills, and we really feel like we have to do things in order to become good enough, or perhaps we make mistakes, right? Which is going to be the next perspective we're going to look at. It's safe to make mistakes, but we feel like it's not safe to make mistakes because if we make mistakes, then it means that we're bad. It means that we're fundamentally bad. We're bad people. We do bad things. We make mistakes. But again, going back to like looking at that beautiful toddler running around outside, who has fallen down or tripped, or they've done something, they've made a mistake, we wouldn't go, you're no longer good enough because you made a mistake. No, we wouldn't do that. But somehow we feel, as we get older, we feel like, okay, I have to do things in order to be good enough, or I have to not make mistakes in order to be good enough. I have to be a perfectionist. I have to make sure that I'm perfect all the time in order for me to be good enough, in order to be safe, right? I have to be a perfectionist in order to feel safe. So when we're thinking about feeling safe to be ourselves, what does that feel like? If it was safe, if I was to wave a magic wand for you right now, and you could be yourself, truly be yourself, what would that look like? What would you be doing? What would you not be doing? Right? What would you not be doing? How would that feel? How would that feel for you to be yourself? And it may take a little while for you to figure out what that looks like and how that feels, because perhaps you're so out of practice of being yourself because it's been so unsafe to be yourself for such a long time. But that's okay, because that's what I'm here for, right? That's what we're here for. It's taking baby steps to feeling safe to be ourselves. Have you ever had an experience, like socially or with family members or in an environment, where you could finally be yourself? You could unmask, you could take off all of those roles, of like people pleaser and perfectionist. And have you ever been in an environment where it was safe for you to be yourself? I had one of those experiences this weekend, and it was immense. It felt so good. I was able to fully be myself without fear of judgment, without fear of rejection, without fear of abandonment, without fear of criticism, without fear of like making mistakes and hurting people and upsetting people for saying, or doing the wrong thing. And it was very freeing. It was very liberating. And it made me feel like, okay, so this feels really good and I want to do this more. I want to be myself more often. And I feel like when we start peeling back the layers, we start peeling back like the layer of the not good enoughness and the powerlessness and the unsafety, the unsafeness, and the roles, people pleasing and perfectionist, when we start to drop all that stuff, we start to drop all of those things, it kind of gets harder to pick up again. Like, for example, this weekend, I felt really safe to be myself. I felt really safe to be that free-spirited, creative person who's into this kind of stuff, who's into personal development and coaching and counseling, talking about really interesting subjects, going deep, right? Talking about deep subjects. And it felt really liberating. And now when I think about going back to the version of me before who had to edit parts of myself to be around different people or to be around different environments who perhaps are not into that stuff, that feels exhausting. That feels like I don't want to go back to that. I just want to be me all the time. And then there's a part of me that's afraid, because if I'm me all the time, then what if those people don't like me? Or what if I'm not liked? What if I'm judged? What if someone says, oh, yeah, whatever, you're weird, and then walks away? That feels painful. There's a part of me that feels like that hurts emotionally. But there's another part of me that says, but if somebody is going to be like that, Iona, are they really for you? Are they really your person? Are they really your people? And what's the worst thing that could happen if they were to reject me or abandon me or say, oh, what, you're a weirdo? What's the worst thing that can happen? Nothing right now. It might hurt. It might be a little bit like, oh, it doesn't feel very nice, but I'm going to survive. I'm going to survive. So that leads me into my next question of what could be the worst thing that could happen if you were to truly be yourself? What could be the worst thing that could happen if you were to truly be yourself? Are you going to get rejected? Are you going to get called out? Are you going to get criticized? Are you going to get lots of negativity if you were to truly be yourself? And to that I say, cool, good, not good, not great, but will you survive? Will you survive it? Will you survive the rejection and the creativity? Because there are 8 billion people on the planet. There are 8 billion people. There's probably more than 8 billion, let's be honest now. There's a lot of people on the planet. And if one person rejects you, then another person's going to love you. Rejection is redirection. You're not for this person, but you're for this person. Okay. And that's what I learned this weekend. So good. I was at a conference this weekend and I got to meet some very like-minded people. And in this past year, in fact, especially in this past year, but in this past 5 years of me doing this work, I've had a lot of people drop out of my life because they don't like the new version of me, right? They don't like the authentic, honest version of me who doesn't people please, who has boundaries, who has healthy boundaries. And I felt for a little while there, I was starting to feel quite alone, you know, because when we go through changes, we become a different person. We go through a lot of the work, the inner work that I require my clients to do. We shed layers, and a lot of that, sometimes that shedding is of people who are no longer sticking around for our highest good, and maybe they weren't for our highest good anyway, and we're kind of realizing that. And it can feel like, oh no, I'm losing people, but we will find the people because nature always fills a vacuum, doesn't it? And we're always attracting people based on what we believe to be true about ourselves. So if you feel like it is safer for you to be yourself, then you will attract people into your life who also feel like it's safer for them to be themselves. And I don't know about you, but I want people around me who feel safe to be themselves. Like I want to know the real person. I don't want to know someone who feels like they can't be themselves around me. That doesn't feel good. I want someone who's authentic. I don't want a fake person. You know, I've had plenty of fake people in my life and I'm over that now. Absolutely over that. So let me know in the comments. I would love to know in the chat box. Do you feel safe to be yourself? Can you play with this weekend, starting from today, starting from Thursday, maybe do it tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday? Can you play with feeling safe to be yourself? What would it feel like if you were to feel safe to be yourself? What does being yourself look like? How does it feel to be yourself? How does it feel if you can feel safe to be yourself? Because that's what it's all about. It's creating safety, it's creating inner safety. Hi Raquel, thank you so much for joining me. I know this was a proper last minute live because I missed Monday from traveling back from the conference. So can you play with feeling safe to be yourself? And if you can, if you were to hypothetically be safe to be yourself, what would that look like? How would that feel? Okay. I would love to know. Pop a comment in the chat box as well. Yay, great. So it's safe to be myself. Yeah, being myself looks like freedom. I love it, Raquel. Yes, absolutely. Being myself looks like freedom. Does it feel like freedom? Does being yourself feel like freedom? Because it absolutely does for me. Being myself, being my true authentic self, who is creative, free-spirited, fun-loving, confident in like just a knowingness way, has healthy boundaries. That feels like freedom. It feels so good. It feels free. It feels freeing just thinking about that, it feels like I can drop that wall a little bit. It feels like I don't have to be so hyper vigilant all the time, because for a very long time I was super hyper vigilant, meaning I was always looking out for where the next judgment would come from, where the next criticism would come from, where the next little comment, or just having people roll their eyes at me, right? That was a big one for such a long time. I always felt like people were rolling their eyes at me. And now I'm like, cool, they can roll their eyes at me if they want, that's fine. And I'm not, and it's going to be okay. I'm still going to be safe with people rolling their eyes at me. I'm still going to be safe if someone doesn't like how I look or what I'm doing. I'm going to be safe. It feels like relief and lightness too. It does. It really does. Yeah, it feels like relief. Oh, finally, I can. It feels like relief because I can let go a little bit. I can relax a little bit. I can drop those hypervigilant guards. I can drop my guard down a little bit. I can just let myself be myself. I can use my mental energy. I can use my brain power to think about other things. I don't have to be constantly thinking about threats and what ifs and catastrophizing and thinking about where my next judgment is coming from, who's going to reject me next, right? Living in fear of not being good enough. I can use my brain to think about other things. I can use my brain to observe my environment and go, wow, that's a cool thing over there, or I'm really enjoying this time with my friends. I can be more in the present moment because I'm no longer constantly worrying and thinking that it's not safe to be myself, and not juggling, right? Doing that like mental gymnastics, trying to think of who I should be for this person or these people, what I should be doing over here or not doing over here. That's just, that's exhausting. It is exhausting, and it is not relief, and it's heaviness. It feels like heaviness, having all that mental gymnastics to do, think about, because it's not safe to be myself. So therefore, I have to be thinking about what I need to be doing, who I need to be, what I need to be saying. I can't just say how I feel, right? And of course, we're still being conscious, right? We're still being conscious of ourselves and our behavior, and we're living by our standards, and we're living by our values, like we're being loving and supportive with boundaries, with really good boundaries, but it's safe to be ourselves. So the next one then, you're in alignment with yourself. I love that. Absolutely. Yes, you're in alignment. Yes, love that. You're in alignment. Well, how about, Raquel, if you're in alignment with yourself while you are being yourself, then what about if you make a mistake, right? What if you make a mistake? Is it safe? Okay. Do you currently, viewer of this video, do you feel safe to make mistakes in your life? Whether that is in your job, in your relationship, in your friendships, in your family, your day-to-day life. Is it safe to make a mistake? And we're not talking about going out purposely and doing bad things. We're talking about perhaps like, silly mistakes that we make every day. Because so many people don't feel safe to make mistakes. That's where like perfectionism comes from, is the fear of making mistakes, the fear of hurting people, fear of letting people down, fear of criticism, fear of judgment. So we have to constantly make sure that we're being good all the time, because perhaps we don't feel good, perhaps we don't feel fundamentally good at our core, perhaps we feel fundamentally flawed at our core. So we have to constantly be making sure that we're doing the right thing, making sure that we're trying to be good enough, because we don't feel that we are, or we don't think that we are. So is it safe to make mistakes? currently in life? Does it feel safe to make mistakes? How does it feel? If you were to close your eyes, take a nice deep breath in and out. If, hypothetically, I was to wave that magic wand to you, over you, and now, all of a sudden, it is now safe for you to make mistakes, how does that feel? How does that feel? It took me a little while to feel into this because I had a really nasty habit of berating myself constantly. If I was to do something, if I was to make a little mistake, say, for example, I was driving, right, and I hit the curb when I'm reverse parking, or if I cut someone off by accident, or if I don't know, I can't think off the top of my head. If I was to give someone the wrong change in a shop or something, or if I was to bump into someone by accident, I would take that experience and I would obsess over it. I would obsess over it because it's not safe to make mistakes. It's not safe for me to make mistakes because that it feels like shame. It feels like I should have known better. And I would spend so much time, so much mental energy and emotional energy thinking about that thing that I didn't do or that mistake that I made. And I would obsess over it. I would obsess over it. It was almost like I wasn't letting myself off the hook. I had to berate myself for it, almost as if a way of like, well, someone's going to do it. So if I do it, someone's going to berate me. So if I do it to myself, that means it's going to hurt less when someone else does it. Or if I don't berate myself, then I won't learn the lesson. Or I never get it right. So I must punish myself because I don't deserve to not be punished. I deserve to be punished, right? So taking all of that off, taking all of that stuff off, right? What if I can be good to myself? I can be kind to myself and treat myself like I would treat a best friend or a loved one or my partner, or someone who means a lot to me, like one of my nieces, for example. What if I could, if I make a mistake, treat myself like that? Because it's safe for them to make mistakes. If they were to make a mistake, if my loved one was to make a mistake, I wouldn't berate them. I wouldn't tell them they're not good enough. I wouldn't punish them. I would probably say, SHIT happens and everyone makes mistakes and it's going to be okay. Nothing major happened. Even if it did, we can fix it, or we can try and fix it. We can do something about it. Even if we can't do something about it, then it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. So if we can allow ourselves that grace, if we can allow ourselves that same love that we would give to other people when they make a mistake for us, how does that feel? How would it feel if it was safe for us to make mistakes? Raquel, I think if I'm in alignment, that would mean that I would be forgiving myself and give myself grace if I made a mistake. Absolutely, yes, you'd be forgiving yourself, be forgiving ourselves and giving ourselves grace. Absolutely. And it feels peaceful. If it's okay for me to be a silly cow sometimes, right? If it's okay for me to be an absolute numpty, which is a Scottish word, if you're not familiar, you feel free to use it, numpty. If we can be a numpty, and that's okay. If other people can be numpties, I mean, oh my gosh, if other people can be silly billies, right, in the world, and Lord knows there are plenty of them. There are plenty of silly people doing silly things. What is the worst thing that could happen if we were to be a silly Billy and do something silly? What would be the worst thing that could happen? Someone might get hurt, okay, but it's not like we're going out there purposefully and hurting them. It was a mistake. It was an accident, right? Accidents happen. If we get hurt, we can learn a lesson from it. We can take the mistake and we can go, okay, I'm not going to do that again. That's sometimes the fastest way for me to learn is to make mistakes, and potentially you might be the same. That if you make a mistake and something happens in my brain, my muscle memory, my neural pathways go blink, and that's a connection made. I'm not going to make that mistake again. So yeah, what's the worst thing that could happen if you were to make a mistake? Someone gets hurt, you get hurt, you lose your job, you lose your home, you lose your car, you lose your thing, you die, right? You're homeless. These are all absolutely terrifying, horrific, challenging experiences that many people have experienced, but that doesn't have to be our experience. If we were to lose our job, we would absolutely get another job. I believe we would get another job. Maybe we would start our own business. If we were to lose our home, we have loved ones, friends and family who would help us. We would get another home. If we were to lose a loved one or a friend, that would hurt. That would be really hard, and we could allow ourselves to have the grief. And I'm sure that person would forgive us. So we have to learn to forgive ourselves. So what would be the worst thing that could happen if you were to make a mistake? Can you play with the idea, the feeling, the thought that it's safe to make mistakes? Safe to make mistakes. Maybe you weren't allowed to make mistakes when you were growing up. Maybe you were made to feel like if you make a mistake, then that's bad and you have to be punished for it. So therefore we spend our lives trying really hard not to make mistakes, just like we spend all that mental energy and that mental gymnastics trying not to be ourselves because it's not safe to be ourselves. We try really hard not to make mistakes. And you know when you try not do something, you end up doing it anyway. So I feel like perhaps if we tell ourselves that it's okay to make mistakes, it's safe to make mistakes, it doesn't mean we're going to immediately and automatically all of a sudden start making loads of mistakes. It just means that we can let ourselves off the hook. We can take ourselves off the hook. We can have a little bit more grace with ourselves. We can be kinder to ourselves. We can have more confidence, because really that's what we're here for. That's what this is all about. More confidence. More confidence to do the things that we want to do. More confidence to be the person we want to be the people we want to be. Your confident version of yourself, your most confident version of yourself, where you're living the life you want to live, where you're doing the things that you want to do they feel safe to make mistakes? Do they feel safe to get it wrong sometimes? Do they feel safe to be themselves? Perhaps we are around people who don't like it when we make mistakes, who punish us for making mistakes. And just like I said before, sometimes we can... Oh, bye Raquel. Thanks so much for joining. Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget to watch the replay. I'll send it out on the emails. Sometimes we attract people who, well, we can absolutely attract more people who feel like they are safe to make mistakes, who don't beat up on themselves, who don't punish themselves for making mistakes. So when, again, like before, like similar to feeling safe to be ourselves and attracting people who feel safe to be themselves, once we start feeling safe to be ourselves, we can also attract people who don't care if we fluff it up from time to time. Like thinking about previous relationships, previous friendships, where it didn't feel safe to make mistakes. And now my current relationship, my current friendships, they couldn't give a hoot. They don't care if I make a mistake. They don't care if I fluff it up. I feel, yeah, okay, I'm gonna have a moment where I feel embarrassed or I feel silly, but they don't care. And that feels like relief. That feels really good. That feels like, I can take myself off the hook. I can now use my brain and my feelings to focus on the things that I want to focus on. I can post things online. I can do a live on YouTube. And if I say something silly, or if I say the wrong thing, or if I make a mistake, that's okay. It doesn't matter, because I'm a human being. I'm not a robot. I'm not AI. So I would love for you this weekend to have a play with what it feels like, what it feels like feeling safe to make mistakes, what that feels like and what that looks like, feeling safe to make mistakes. Final one that we're going to talk about is it's safe to change my mind. Safe to change my mind. And this is one of my favorite topics. That's kind of why I saved it for last. I mean, I've only got like 10 minutes to go. So I'm going to try and squeeze as much in as I can about this topic. We have brains and minds that are designed to change. Our brains are designed to change. You might have had a perspective or a belief that you had in childhood that you picked up from a parent that's not serving you. Like, for example, I'm not good enough, or I'm unworthy of money, or I'm unworthy of this thing that I want in my life. I'm unworthy of love. I'm unlovable. Whatever it is. We have to change that, because we always experience in life what we believe to be true about ourselves. Our reality, our life, your life out here is always a reflection of what you've got going on at an emotional level, how you feel about yourself, what you think about yourself. I teach my 3 pillars of self-confidence: self-esteem, how you feel about yourself; self-concept, your thoughts about yourself, what you believe to be true about yourself; and your self-confidence is the actions, reactions, inactions that we do or don't do using our self-concept and our self-esteem, right? Our self-concept, what we think about ourselves, our beliefs about ourselves, our self-esteem, how we feel about ourselves, creates our self-confidence, because it stops us from doing things, or it makes us do things that we perhaps don't want to do, or perhaps know that it's not going to be for our highest and best good. So when we think and feel into what we really believe about ourselves, what we really believe to be true about ourselves and our lives, and what we think that we're worthy of, what we think we believe we can have, or what we believe we can do, if we have stuff there that's stopping us from doing the things we want to do, for example, if I want to stand up in front of a group of people and I want to talk to them about something, that I have a message, an important message, or a product, or something important that I want to, a message that I have to get across to them. If I believe that I am not good enough, and that it's not safe for me to make mistakes, that I'm going to get judged and criticized, it's not safe for me to be seen, then when I stand up there, I'm going to have a bad time. I'm going to really struggle when I'm up there. If I go back to those thoughts and feelings about myself, those perspectives about myself, it's safe for me to make mistakes, it's safer for me to be myself, and I am good enough, at this moment in time to do this thing that I want to do, because I was born good enough. I've decided that I am good enough. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to beat anyone to be good enough. I decided I'm good enough to do this thing. And if I'm judged or criticized, then that's fine. I can survive that. I will survive that. If I go up and do the thing, if I present with those perspectives in my brain and in my body, feeling what that feels like, how it feels to be good enough, how it feels to feel safe to be myself, how it feels to feel safe to make mistakes, then I'm going to go up there a very different person. I'm going to go up there with a very different energy. I'm going to go up there feeling very different to how I would if I didn't feel good enough, if I felt like I was afraid of being judged and criticized, if I felt like it wasn't safe for me to make mistakes, if it wasn't safe for me to be myself. Okay. So our brains have to change. Our minds have to change. And our minds can change about anything or anyone at any time. You don't have to have the same thoughts and feelings about people your whole entire life. You don't have to have the same thoughts and feelings about politics, about religion, about human beings, about celebrities, about food, right? About literally anything. You can decide at any time in your life, I'm going to change my mind about that. I'm going to change my mind, because my mind is designed to change. The human brain is designed to change. Our neural pathways are designed to unhook and rehook, right? Neural pathways is like how a thought is created, right? I'm having a thought. It's a new thought, right? I'm going to think a brand new thought, and that thought is I am good enough. I'm going to associate that thought with a feeling. How does it feel to feel good enough? If I was good enough, hypothetically, how would that feel? It would feel pretty good. It would feel like relief. It would feel like I can feel it in my body. Like it feels fun. It feels exciting. It feels good. Okay, so that I've just created a new thought, a new feeling, a new neural pathway. So now when I think about feeling good enough with practice, that's where I'm going to go. The old thought, the old neural pathway, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. The one that we've spoken and thought so many times, it's like it's so there, so ingrained, it's burned into our system. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. When we start thinking the new thought, and having the new feelings, I am good enough. I am good enough. That neural pathway unhooks, and it's no longer a pathway, right, to the thought and the feeling. So our brains are designed to change. Our brains are literally designed to change. Our minds are designed to change. You can change your mind. You have to change your mind in this work about yourself. If you want to feel more confident, if you want to experience things in your life, and I don't know what those things are. I would love to know what those things are. Where in life would you like to experience more confidence? Where in life, what would you like to experience in life? Who would you like to be? What would you like to do? In order for you to do those things and be that person, we have to change our minds. You have to change your mind about what you believe to be true about yourself. It's safe to change your mind. Is it currently safe for you to change your mind on either a perspective that you have about yourself or about someone or something? If it's not safe to change your mind, right, that could be because you think, or you perhaps may believe, perhaps you think that if you were to change your mind, that you might lose people. People might reject you. If you change your mind, you might lose people. People might reject you. People might not like you anymore if you change your mind. You might lose out on things. You might lose things. What else might happen? What would be the worst thing that could happen if you were to change your mind about something or someone or a belief system? It might be too hard. It might be really difficult to change your mind. It might feel impossible to change your mind. If, hypothetically, it was safe for you to change your mind, what would that look like? How would that feel? Changing your mind, what does that look like? How does that feel? If you were to all of a sudden if I was to wave that magic wand, right, and you were to become good enough, right, and you can decide, okay, now I'm deciding that I am good enough. You've just changed your mind about yourself. If you previously felt like you weren't good enough and now you feel like you're good enough, then how does that feel? It's safe to change my mind. It's safe to change your mind. If it was safe to change your mind, how would that feel? What would that look like? We have to change our minds about ourselves, about our this is what we've been doing this whole hour. We've been changing our minds. So yeah, it's safe, absolutely safe for you to change your mind. You just did it. You just did it. So this weekend, I would love for you to play with these perspectives. It's safe to be myself. It's safe to make mistakes. It's safe to change my mind. It's safe to be myself. It's safe to make mistakes. And it's safe to change my mind. Pop a little reminder if in your phone, if you'd like. If you've got like Google Calendar or iCalendar or whatever you use, pop a little reminder in your phone that flashes up throughout the days. It's safe to be myself. It's safe to make mistakes. It's safe to change my mind, and see what happens in your brain and your body. If you were to see that flash up on your phone, or you could use post-it notes as well if you wanted to just put post-it notes at some places and see them, put them on your mirror in your bathroom, so whether when you're brushing your teeth in the morning and in the evening, that's what you see. How does it feel in your body when you look at these things? Does it feel like turmoil? Does it feel uneasy? Does it feel like relief, or does it feel uneasy? If it feels uneasy, then that means that there are underlying perspectives and beliefs that you've got which tells you that it's not safe. It's not safe. And that's always, always, always worth an explore into these perspectives and into these beliefs. And that's what I do in my one-on-one coaching sessions with my clients via Zoom that usually lasts about 60 minutes. We usually talk about circumstances, like what they've got going on currently that they need some guidance for. And we look and explore our belief system and what we've got going on that's creating our current circumstances or current experiences. Perhaps you have an experience that you're not enjoying, or a circumstance that you're finding particularly challenging, or perhaps you would like some counseling or some guidance on an experience that you're having currently. Perhaps there is something that you would like to achieve or do, and you're not sure where to start. You're not sure how to start. You're not sure what to do about it. Perhaps you've got something coming up. Perhaps you've got an event. Perhaps you've got like a big important life event coming up, and you're not sure what to do about it. My sessions are designed to give you clarity and relief there and then. They're designed to explore. We spend some time exploring, and I try and create an environment where you feel safe and supported to explore your perspectives and your belief system. And I obviously guide you through how to do that. And it's very enlightening. It's very fun. And I would love for you to book a session with me if that's something that you would like to do, by clicking the link in the description, which goes to my Calendly, and you can book a 30-minute session with me, like a little starter session. And from that little 30-minute session, we can look at what you've got going on, and then we can decide if you would like any more sessions after that. So that's what I do in my 60-minute sessions via Zoom, one-on-one with my clients. So if you'd like to have a little chat with me, if you've got anything going on currently that you'd like some clarity on, or some guidance, some coaching, or some counselling, please click the link in the description box. And I hope that you enjoyed this call. I hope you enjoyed this YouTube live. I'll be back probably on Monday evening, same time. If you aren't a subscriber to my YouTube channel and you enjoyed this video, please click the subscribe button and also click the like button as well, so it can be seen by lots of other people. And thank you so much for spending your time with me. I know that your time is precious, and I'm very grateful that you have spent it with me. And I hope this call was good. I hope that you felt like you learned something. And I hope that your confidence has increased. I hope I upgraded your confidence a little bit. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend. And I'll see you on Monday. Lots of love. Bye-bye.